Good morning, everyone. EagleX here, and I have today's MarketWatch for January 14th. And as I always like to do, I like to start with looking at the sealed product of our booster boxes, see how healthy our game is and affordability in terms of new players getting in. As you can see, $80, $70, $70, 1.5 is coming up to almost $70 also. So overall, it's pretty good. Your cheapest box is Great Legend Double Diamond. I'd probably say Great Legend's a bit undervalued there. Battle of Omni makes sense at 70. There's lots of staple SRs. Same with 1.5, having a lot of staple rares and uncommons though. So they both make sense at their prices. The booster box pickup for me this week is probably going to be 1.5 if I have to pick up a booster still. Unless you haven't gotten your new stuff, then maybe one box of EX would also be very considerable at 70 bucks. So moving on to our next thing. I had someone ask me last week, Zach, what are your thoughts about some of the high-end trophy cards, some of the rare cards? And it's going to be pretty simple, honestly. Like this All Force card you get for, I think it's like getting top 8 in the Grand Prix tournament. This War Greymon promo for getting top 16. There's an Omnimon also, the Ghost Omni. These cards, besides the Ghost Omni at least, I can see in top 32 Greymon, their Digimon, all that, I can see those cards being very stagnant in price. Because the issue is, like, yes, there's not a whole lot of these, so you can demand whatever price you want for it, but you just don't have buyers. You don't have All Force fanatics hopping out left and right demanding this card like you would Charizard fans in Pokemon. It's like the prices are probably going to stick to whatever you've seen as sold listings for probably a long time. The only card that I really see longevity in is a Ghost Omni. I know right now we have BT6 in print, so it's going to be easier to find, but give this like a few years, I can see this going up. It does have an uptick from 600 to 800 right now, but it's not going to sell fast. If we even look at this listing, you're going to see that, yeah, it's already been updated. There's someone 700 because they haven't been able to sell it. They just want their money. And there's not people willing to dish out the high dollar price tag that people would demand for it. So when it comes to trophy cards and high dollar cards, it doesn't move fast. The prices are kind of stagnant, but this is the one I can kind of see going up in the long run. Even like the Championship Omni, I can see it going up in the long run. It's just that you don't have Omnimon fanatics like you do Charizard fanatics that cause the prices to drive up kind of naturally. So next thing is EX cards. Do you need them for your decks and nationals? If you do and you don't plan on opening any products, you're going to be ordering singles, and as you can see, XVmon, Karamon, so Diaboromon, the new Imperial stuff's really being pushed. Analog Youth, because he can be splashed in multiple decks. Gabumon, and actually, real quickly, Icewall just got hit on the restriction list. $10. Is it going to hold at $10 still? Let's give it a quick refresh. It's still $10. There's time for people to react still to it. But it looks like Analog Youth is roughly 20s. The Gabumons, which you put into Gabubond, Biomon's going to Jesmon. It's like, it makes sense for these cards to be the more in-demand ones, higher dollar ones, because you kind of need them to update your decks to be the most efficient as possible. So that's EX. This is card 1.0, guys. Vanilla Greymon Secret. It's like not even $10. It's $9 right now with shipping. It's in Machinedramon. It's going to go up. It's going to see more use because of Machinedramon. He is a cyborg type, so he will be put in those decks. It's like a 1 or 2 of. And he's starting to uptick a bit. So pick up your copies if you haven't yet. Next, Lilithmon. A card that is probably going to get hit on the ban. Not directly in the ban list, but make it Digimon Fusion. And as you can see, like, I was actually really impressed that this card was upticking before Nationals, before Banlists announcement. Let's give it a quick refresh here, see if people have overreacted yet. It's a slight dip, but like honestly, that's a pretty good price to sell at right now. $26, because it was like 22, I think, last week on MarketWatch. But overnight, it's dropped $1. It's going to be that SR that probably dips the most because of the ban list. Moving on. Jesmon was also hit. Savior Huck got hit in the ban list. So if you got those stamps, we'll look up here in a second. But Jesmon, $6, $28 for the Altart. Give it a quick refresh, $5, $27. It's not that big of a drop because this is what Jesmon kind of floats at, is typically a $5-ish range. But if we look for to save your Huckmon, see the stamp's 29 bucks, it's still above market price. Like, these suckers are out of print. Even though it's down to a 1 of, it will be going down because it's not a 4 of anymore. It's probably going to be like a $10 stamp because it is a foil of an uncommon. But that's the card that got hit, so I definitely see that pre-release stamp price dropping. Moving on next, we're looking at our Greymons. Greymon's just an easy thing to search overall, because you'll see you got your Scary Attack +1 Greymon, roughly 18 bucks. You got your Agumon Greymon, roughly 12 bucks. Those are the big ones you really need for decks. So you do have the alt art of this Greymon, the Scary Attack +1 Greymon. Yeah, hopping over here, we got our Red Tamer Tai. Should be roughly 10 bucks. He's not really that volatile. He's used in decks. He's used in very few Gabumon decks as the new memory setter because Pepsi Bond decks, because he is red. He lets you use Delicate Plan and all that without needing to set up more. And Davis is another staple tamer we have here. He's roughly 10 bucks, give take the day. But he is going down a lot because Pepsi Bond is becoming more relevant. He's not a 4 of tamer anymore. He's like 2 to 3 of. If you run the red tie, you might even cut him entirely down to like a 1 of, 2 of. So it's just something to keep in mind. Davis is a great long-term investment, though. This is the only printing we have of him from 1.5, a large booster set where he's a rare, so you probably get 1, maybe 2 tops in a booster box of him. Next thing I want to emphasize, Ukemon. This card has actually been going up here. Yeah, as you can see, the cheapest listing's 10 bucks if you include shipping together. This one's a little bit better, though, $5.47, $5.47. The reason I want to bring this up, it actually hit $9 earlier this week. Let's see if it shows here. It might have just been listed at 9, but not sold at 9. But there were like no listings of this card, so I'd keep an eye out. This card's going to be a very good staple in the long run. Same thing with Davis. It's a 4 of for blue. I don't think blue really runs any other eggs besides maybe the source playing Digimon that lets you gain them or anything is what it is, or draw a card. If you play a source out. Anyways. Next, Dash Pack Gabu, Pepsi Bond. It's becoming more relevant, but this card is dipping. That means we have more coming in circulation. So after we hit that $20 peak, we've taken a quick dive. So if you want to try out Pepsi Bond, this is probably a good time to start picking up these cards for Nationals. Like, I would probably put the order on these today if I didn't already have 2 sets of this card. Another card, I typically cover Security Control here, but I really should be covering Bielstar and Three Musketeers, because she is a pseudo-similar playstyle to it. It's a control deck, and you kind of smash her in, but she's like 28 bucks. She hovers around there. It's pretty reasonable. Alt art, you pay a good premium for to get that side boob. Next is Magnus, and something I do want to point out, Magna Angemons. These kind of spiked up to $25 earlier this week. The alt art was barely more than it. Yeah, there's $33, so it's a $10 premium. It's what people are trying to put together for Nationals is my guess. This and Lilith Loop, just based on the prices alone. And the other card that kind of pairs in both Three Musketeers and Security Control's Warp Defeat. He's pretty stable at his price, $60 secret. It's pretty fair. He's splashed in multiple decks also, so I'm not surprised by the price. Now in future formats, I've been pointing out Shine Greymon is a deck I'm really looking out for. We're roughly to $6 for the SR now when he was 4 last week. Kind of like my warning I had for you guys last week, pick up your sets if you don't have them. They're going to keep going up. If you want to get 4 the most efficient way, it's probably going to be like 20 plus bucks now. I think you're looking closer to 25 with shipping involved. So make sure you have your shines. Going with shines, you gotta look at your yellow tamers. If we refresh here, TKs are at the $6 mark. They're roughly 4 or 5 last week for the regular art. The TP3 TK is roughly 15 bucks right now. He went down a little bit since he got bought out. Box Topper TK is 25. TK Kari is $8. Like, these are your staple tamers that you're going to be using. You're using TK, you're using TK Kari. And then you're going to be using the new Zoe tamer. So those are the ones I'd be keeping an eye out. I would probably be picking these up sooner than later, the memory setting TK, if you don't have them. I want to emphasize the Ancient Greymon deck that we're going to have Red Hybrid next set. You still need these promos, guys. They're pretty good price to pick up at $6-8. So I would be picking up 4 of these if you don't have them. And to pair with it, the Ancient Greymon. He's been hovering around the $30 mark. Looks like he's starting to get close to breaking it, but $30 for a secret is pretty reasonable. I don't really see this shifting a whole lot more. $40 is kind of the peak I expected to. And the reason I say that is when Ancient Garurumon was kind of hyped up for the Gabumon Ancient Bond version, he is hovering around that $38 mark here. So if I had to guess, this guy's going to go up to roughly 40. The only difference is he actually does see more play than Ancient Garuru does. So that's why I had Ancient Garuru here, just for comparison. Precedent we had in the market for a similar secret. Promos I would really look up picking up, guys. These Cinerizimon promos, they're used in black from basically here on out. It's an extra security check. You saw Greymon is already like a $20 just starter deck card because it has security attack +1, but this is on a rookie in black. I think the only other security attack pluses black has are on their level 5s and 6s, so this is just a generic one that works for all their decks really. Assuming you have that 13,000 AP threshold, which isn't that hard honestly. Now not similar, but last week, you guys remember when I pointed out this was $80? Yeah, it's $130 now. This exploded to $200 at one point because this was the only listing. These are out of print, guys. They're going to be going by and they're going to be increasing in price. With the new Greymon X antibody stuff, it's pretty reasonable to assume there's probably going to be more Greymon support here. So this egg is probably going to be like the max rarity go-to egg at 125. So keep an eye out on this egg. If you have extra copies in your collection, he's probably going to keep going up. And next thing I want to point out is Event Pack 1. You guys remember when I told you look at getting some of these cards? Well, you can see it's pretty stable overall, but Akuamon spiked. He was roughly $10. I actually got my playset of these for $5 each. But Akuamon X Antibody was announced, and it has caused this card to spike. He is your optimal target for the Akuamon X Antibody. As you can see, people are buying copies for $20, $15, $10, like all the $10 listings are bought up. There was a $5 listing here. Like I said, I got mine for $5. I picked them up. So this is going to be a goofy card to keep an eye out for. If you've had them rotting in your binder, well, guess what? It's worth the money now. Next card I want to point out, Nokia. She is a generic tamer that will support a Greymon Agumon line, and if there's a new Agumon, Greymon, Gabumon X antibody forms, she is going to be a tamer that I can see going up, as she's very generic and she can be splashed into a lot of decks. She cheats out on plays, so keep an eye out on Nokia, guys. It's going to be one card where I would consider picking up the rares just for $1, get your playset, or if you're getting the box topper, get your box topper sooner than later. Next, the Weregaruru promo. If you guys saw, the Weregaruru X Antibody was announced, and this card's already had a small uptick since he is revealed. Basically, there's a combo where you can attack with this twice, then you go into the X Antibody, you restand, and you could get the extra check if you have the 8 cards in hand with the X Antibody on suspending this Weregaruru into Weregaruru X Antibody. It's a promo. It's cheap right now, 25 cents. Just pick them up. They'll be worth it if it goes up. If not, you spent 25 cents on a promo. Promos are weirdly printed in this game, and they're worth holding on to. And like I was emphasizing earlier, got our Ghost Ami. He's like 750, 700 now, 700. He's been going up. And the card I thought was really weird. This card was bought out earlier today, guys. I saw it was 35. It's 10 now. There's not many listings. So if you have extras of these, probably a good time to list them, as you can get a higher dollar for them. Why are they going up? I think it's just because people like the art, honestly. That being said, guys, thanks for stopping by today's Market Watch, and have a nice day, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.